All right, good night, everyone, to United Currency Coins and Crypto. Many of you are basically here right now trying to figure out what's going on where I've been. So I've been busy, and I had some silver scrap previously. Right now, if you look at the videos that I've done, I had some silver scrap, and I ended up putting it into some bars and actually selling it, and it did very well. It did pretty good. So right now we're going to go over what's called a bill search. Okay, now a bill search is basically when you can take a group of bills or a large amount of bills and actually search those bills for fancy serial numbers or bills that you would actually like to keep and collect, which is definitely pretty good. So I have a few here right now. And the good part is we're going to go over an entire stack of bills that I have found, and we're going to check this out. And I'm going to say this now. There is a gentleman that I have been talking to on this channel, for those of you who do subscribe to me, named Stublock Currency. I have reviewed some of his videos, and he has requested a book by a gentleman for fancy serial numbers. Which is pretty good right now. So again, no hate to him if he basically has it. I have looked for that book. I haven't been able to find it, actually. I went to Barnes and Nobles, they didn't have it. So I will probably check Amazon later to see if they have it. But there is an actual book on fancy serial numbers that you can purchase it for. I haven't been able to find it, but if you guys know of a book for fancy serial numbers, put it in the comment section so I can figure out where to purchase that right now. Okay. All right. So let's go over the ones that we actually have here and some interesting bills. And I have something very interesting towards the end of this video for that right now. And it has to do with the Series B. Okay, so first we have here is a solid quad. Now the solid quads, as you can see here, is when you actually would have one digit 4 times consecutive that's touching. The solid quad can be leading, which is in the beginning. It can be trailing, which is at the end, or it can be somewhere in the middle. So this here is a solid quad that is leading. Okay, so 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, now this is a good solid quad right now. So this would be a leading solid quad. Now it would be a low digit and also low value. If it was something like a 6 or a 7 or an 8 or 9 or a 0, then yeah, somebody would probably pay maybe 50 cents more for it. Again, it's always up to them, whatever they decide to purchase it for if you sell it. Now for me, I don't sell any of my fancy serial numbers. I keep them because what I'm looking for are duplicates. And I'm going to get to that in the end, how crazy this is. Okay, so what we have in front of us is about $900 in singles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this came out of the 9 stack after I searched through everything. Okay, so we're going to put this aside here. Now, let's see what we have here. Now, this is actually what you would call a devil's note, which I ended up finding out the other day, which is when you have a note that has triple sixes in it that are touching. They must be touching. Now, someone basically says, well, the hell is a devil's note? Well, this is a devil's note. Okay. Now, there is another type of note, which I found out from someone called a God note, where it's a G here. Okay. It's a 777 that's touching, and it ends with a D. I hadn't known that, and someone said, well, they're buying them on eBay. And I said, no freaking way. I looked on eBay, and people are actually buying them. Again, you do whatever you want. For me, I try to keep it as simple as possible. Now, this is a devil's note. You know what's interesting? People are buying devil's notes on eBay for about $2.50. I just found that out as well. So this is a devil's note. I guess I'll start keeping them and putting them online. Again, it only cost me $1, but some people want to keep them. So you're free to do that. Okay. Now, here, what do we actually have? This bill here is a 452222442. So here we have a trinary note, 4, 5, and 2, and those are the digits within it. Okay, there's basically only 3 digits here, 4, 5, and 2. All the else repeat. There's no 7, there's no 9. It's just the 3 digits there. Now, here we have another trinary note, 1, 4, and 7. And then we have 1, 1, 1, 7, 4. So another trinary note, which is pretty good. Now, this is a series 2017A. Okay, this might be the first one I have. And here we have a star note. Again, I always keep star notes, and you always want to make sure you have them. There is a website I'm going to get to in a little bit later on today. Okay. And what do we have here? Let's see what we got. 67456726. So what type of bill is this? Okay. This would actually be called a ladder. 4, 5, 6, and 7. We have a 4-digit ladder inside of it. It's not leading and it's not trailing. It's just a 4-digit ladder on the dollar bill. All right. Nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely pretty good. Okay. And here we have another devil's note. I don't keep devil's notes. I just sell them online, which you can do, but that's over it. Okay. Now, what do we have here? Okay, let's look at what we got. 9339558. So right now we already know there's 2 8s that are touching, there's 2 5s that are touching, and there's 2 3s that are touching. But I also have 9 separate. So what this is called a 4 pairs note. Okay, so on this note, I have 4 pairs of digits. Okay, now 4 pairs notes aren't tricky, but you do have to make sure that when you do end up looking at the bills, you don't accidentally just throw it by, because somebody would just look at this bill and say, oh, I would throw it out right now. Again, always double check your bills. Okay, that's a 4 pairs note right now. All right. Now, let us look at another note here. Now, nothing special about this note, but I put it aside because it's an X note. I really don't have many X notes. I have more, and I've said this, I have more binary notes than I even have X notes. I probably only have maybe 5 X notes for some reason, and it's very rare to even come across an X note. Okay, people in the Facebook groups will talk about how rare this actually is to even find one. But again, they exist. You can find them. However, some idiot put 100 here. I don't know why. But yeah, to find an X note is good. So I definitely do keep those right now because of how rare they are. Now here we have another note, but someone wrote on this. They scribbled it out and tried to do this. Now, there's probably going to be a couple videos out there where people actually talk about other people writing on bills. Please don't do it, because it changes the value. Why? Because I have a 4-digit trailing ladder here. 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay? Now, the value of it is going to go down because this person basically ended up doing all of this on the note. And it sucks, right? They just used a permanent marker or some marker to spell out FART. But again, that's what people do when they're bored. Okay? That's what people do when they're bored. All right, let's look at another one here. We have a 69707096. Oh, okay. So it looks like we have another 4 pairs note. But this one is very interesting. You see how it begins with 6? And then we have a 9 here. And then it's a 7070. Now, would this be called a flipper? Technically, no. Because we do have a 6, which is good. We do have a 9, and we do have a 0. But it's these 7s that kind of technically give it away. But this is a 4 pairs note, but it's a very good 4 pairs note. All right. Now, is it a repeater? No. Because a repeater would actually have the 4 digits repeat. They don't. Would it be... See, what separates it is the position of all of this, 7070. Now, again, they're all there, which is pretty good. So you would actually have something similar to... like a tomb, like it wouldn't necessarily be like a tombstone where you would have the digits in the beginning and the digits on the end. I have heard about that, but I don't really have many of them. But this is a good, very good note to have. This would be a good note to start a discussion about right now. Okay. All right, let's put this up. We have another devil's note here, which is pretty good. And here we have a very interesting bill. This bill appears to be almost a binary, almost, except for the 6. 446000440. So if that 6 was out and we had a 40, we'd have a binary note, but we basically don't. And someone ended up writing on it. Thanks a lot. Okay. And here we actually have, what type of note is this? We have 4 7s. We have a 6, 7, 8, 9. Why is this one here? 4 7. Who knows? I'll throw that back. All right, we got another star note. Always keep the star notes, baby. Always keep them. All right, what do we have here? 4 pairs note. Oh, I'm sorry, not 4 pairs. We have a digit ladder. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice one there. With this one here, what do we have? We have a 5, 6, 7, and 8. Another 4-digit ladder. Nice. And it's also an actual B note. Definitely do like that. All right, here we have a 2, 3, 4, and 5. Another 4-digit ladder. Must be my day today. And here we have a trinary note. Now, this is actually pretty cool to have 440888080. Nice trinary note right now. I kept this bill back because I noticed something here. This bill is lacking the same amount of ink, if you can clearly see it, that the regular bills do. It may have not had enough ink on it or stamped, so I will ask about this online. Okay. Here we have a 3, 4, 5, 6. This is another ladder, and it's actually trailing. It's at the end. Very nice. We have an X note, another X note. Love these bad boys. Absolutely love these bad boys here, which is pretty good. Oh, another star note, which is very good. That's a G star note. We have another devil's note here, and this one is actually trailing, which is pretty good. We have another star note, definitely keeping that. We have another devil's note here. We have, what is this here? 78383383. We have a trinary note right now. If that 7 wasn't there and it was replaced by an 8 or a 3, we would have a binary note. Absolutely good. Okay, what do we have here? Now, I kept this back here because this is a W. And I was like, wait a minute, is it upside down? It's a W. I don't own a W bill. This is the first bill I've actually seen with a W on it, right? I've seen all other ones like B's, A's, L, F, G. I've never seen a W bill there. And I'm like, I'll keep this. This is interesting. Okay. Here we have another note, 46114116. So we have a trinary note there. Oh, shoot. We also have a 4 pairs note. Yeah. So whenever you get trinary notes, always count the digits there. We got 2 1s, 2 1s. We got 2 4s and then 2 6s. So this is a trinary note right now because it only has 3 main digits, 4, 6, 1, but it's also a 4 pairs note because we can actually make pairs within these serial numbers. Very good to have. All right, here we have a solid quad, and another 5. So this here would actually end up being 5 of a kind, not 5 in a row, 5 of a kind because you have digits in the middle of this. We have a solid quad here. Look at that, 4, 5, 6, 7. Damn, that's very nice. Okay, that's a messed up ladder. Okay, here what do we have? 2, 3, 8, 5, 3, 8, 8, 2. Oh, I know why this is here. Okay, so that is the fancy serial numbers that I've collected inside of this here. Now, I do want to talk about something, and I put all of these bills aside. Now, I'm going to quickly go through them to see if you see something similar. Okay? Notice anything? All right, so there's a reason why I'm going over this, right? There is a project online right now, if you don't know about it. It's called the Series Bree Star Project. Okay, it's very important. Yeah, the Series 13B dollar star notes, right? It's still going and it's still strong. So there are people out there that actually have star notes that are actually Series B. Okay, so you have B series here. Okay, you have B. It's going to be within this emblem here. It's going to say Series 2003, and it has to be a star note. If you have that, they would like you to go online and match your bills up to someone else's. Okay? And what I decided to do is, hey, what if someone actually has the star note version similar to this, right? Is it possible? Who knows? But I found out from another gentleman at a bar when I actually told him about fancy serial numbers. He said he's been collecting for like 30 years and he has thousands of notes. And I'm like, bro, put them online. You never know what you can match up to, right? So all of these, and this came from this pile here. All of these are B series 2013 notes, right? And there's people online basically saying they're matching up their star note versions to that. Now, is it possible to match up a similar note batch to it? Doesn't really matter. But you can keep it. There's another gentleman that had a huge collection of just regular B series 2013 star notes. Notes, which is interesting. So I am going to start collecting these. I'm going to do another video about star notes that I have that are actually the Series B 2013. Again, this is why I always say keep your star notes. Okay, keep them because you never know what's going on right now. Here's a B, but this is 2017. All right, I'm going to do a video in about 3 minutes about that. All right, you guys have a good day. United Currency Coin and Crypto out. And hey, you guys have a good night and happy hunting.